Oh my gosh, it takes forever to get the food? Do you want me to play some recorded music? Studies show it helps with long waits. Wondering what the holdup is, I try to find the bartender again despite the elbow-to-elbow crowd. Here we go. He's busy chatting with some teenager, probably another customer. Another ginger. Hey, excuse me. Quickly the customer mumbles something and takes a small object. A USB drive? From the bartender? And noticed me looking. Sorry, I just had a thing to do. I'll get out of your way. Sorry to bother you. What was it you wanted again? Diet soda. French fries. Coming right up. This is probably what I would be doing anyway. Like, as a foodie, I would scope out the food. I would scope out the food of this place. I'm worried he's gonna vanish from the face of the earth again, but soon he's back with some prepared fries and a bubbly soda. Okay, how many points does this cost? Points are just for games, cash or credit, or phone pay. I absently wave my phone in his direction. Money for you, ka-ching! Right, time to sample this appetizer. Is it yummy? Is it even edible? I guess these are technically fries? Or as Percy would call them, chips? Or something approaching an adequate approximation of deep-fried potato snack. Want me to add that on your online review? What? No online review. Last thing we want is to annoy Deco Nami with a 2-star report on his fried foodstuffs. I thought this place was supposed to be, good food and good times, not plausibly acceptable food and yet to be had good times. Huh. Weirdly enough, I did a search and there's not a single negative review of the food here. Oh, interesting.
I know.
Oh, I see why. Ooh, I see why. Hark, more than half of these reviews are written by bots. I can tell the earmarks, one AI to another. There are recognizable heuristic patterns. So, he stuffs his own electronic ballot boxes. Who is this guy? A tin pot dictator? Yeah, I'm not down with that. Well, that's the weird thing. The sites I'm checking have really good anti-bot control mechanisms. Like, I can't even post to some of them. And I'm super awesome. This is weird. Do you want me to look into this more? If you trust me to, I mean. Sure, why not? Dig around a bit. Let's not, it's too risky. No! I've trusted Iris up to this point. Go big or go home. Sure, why not? Dig around a bit. I trust you, Iris. Snoop around, but do so very quietly, okay? Okay, I don't know if I'll come up with much, but thanks for believing in me. I decided to finish off my snack and drink quickly, so I can get back to exploring Deco's palace. What next? It sounds like a tournament's going on, let's watch. I want to see what sort of games they have. I decided to focus on trying to find games, like actual games. Except the whole place is basically full of slot machines. They're in different shapes, sizes, and colors. None have a traditional one-armed bandit look to avoid running afoul of legal issues, but they're still slot machines. Every game here has maybe a single button to stop a wheel or a colored light to try to line up the dots or something. The really complex ones, 3 buttons.
Hey, listen.
Hold me up above your head. Huh? Visual scan, silly. I'll look for games you might be familiar with. With a shrug, I hoist my phone high up in the air. The flash goes off, then I resume looking at Iris sitting on my screen.
Please enjoy this recorded music.
Oh, actually, let's skip the music. That didn't take long. Good high bandwidth public Wi-Fi in here to my cloud processors. I'm seeing lots of driving and shooting games, easy for casual players to pick up and play. Over in the esports section, there's dancing games and Fist of Discomfort. We've got all those things too, but I'm not seeing any joysticks. Is a game defined by having particular input devices? Well, no, not really, and I know most modern games are touchscreen based and so on, but I don't know, it doesn't feel like an arcade without a stick or two. Oh, I found something! Back of that section, way over there, with the green lighting. Head that way, that way! I weave my way through the crowd, past endless color cycler ticket games, past crane games, past light stackers, past games based on popular game shows, and find Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Wait, it's only got 1 button. No joystick at all? Researching. One moment. Curious, I swipe my card through the slot and push the button. And Moopy runs the maze by himself. Or tries to, anyway, before running headfirst into a monster and dying. The machine spits out 3 measly tickets and suggests I swipe again for another try. Moopy's Super Maze, created in 2000X, a company bought the expired rights to the Moopy brand and developed a game of chance with it. Well, That's weak. I agree. A teenager puts her Deco playing card on the cabinet and taps him on the shoulder, drawing my attention. Better not show that to Percy. He'd have a heart attack right on the spot. Of shame.
What's up?
Hey, or embarrassment. Hey, I'm calling next, Kay. Yeah, whatever. Knock yourself out. Thanks. I'm the master of this game, you know. The master? The key is to time when you push the button. You'll avoid the nasties that way. It's not great for tickets, no, not great. But it's Moopy, so that's cool, yeah? Old school. Represent! She extends a fist to me and I look awkwardly at her for a second before I realize I'm supposed to fist bump. I've yet to play a real Moopy's Magic Maze, the real deal. Always wanted to. You should come down to the Funplex, we've got one. I'm the event coordinator there. I'd be happy to comp you a few tokens. We've also got a high score chaser who can offer tips. Tap phones with me, I'll send you the address. Seriously? F yeah, you're cool for an old person. Super cool. Old? I'm barely 10 years older than this kid, but whatever. We click phones, exchanging a business card via Bluetooth. You know, my crew used to go to this great little arcade on the other side of town, till Deco's Palace bought it and scrapped all the games. Now it's all kid stuff for kiddies. My hopes for this business meeting now sinking. Yeah, so far things are not looking great for me accepting this deal, but we'll see. So, did he sell off all the classic games? Nah, he scrapped them, trashed them, saw leftover smashed up bits of Ms. packed behind the place and dumpster. It's a effing shame the way the old man always 86's unwanted games. Guess he doesn't want competitors getting their hands on them. No sir. She gives a shrug. Can't say I like it, but what can you do? That's life. I mumble a thank you, then wander off, a bit dazed. So, this is what's become of Moopy, has it? Oh, I'm so sorry, Percy. I didn't want you to see this. Sorry you had to see this, Percy. We're finally in the same wavelength, me and Virtual Hark. I'm plenty offended. To take all the mental leaps of dexterity to escape the maze out of the game is folly, but I'm hardly angry. It'd be silly to be angry at something as trivial as this, and he can't purge the real Mr. Moopy from this world, even if he tries. We'll always have it. Well, I'll always have it, seeing as I bought it from you. Until I've no further need of it, I suppose. Want us to put your urn inside the cabinet? We'd be honored to care for it after you're gone. Let's not even think about that. Focus on the now. Want us to put your urn inside the cabinet? We could always stuff your mortal remains in the cabinet. I'm sure an urn would fit next to the coin mechs. You laugh, but honestly I could see that, if not for the active biohazard issue. I'll just keep poking around a bit for more. I think I've had enough of the retro game tour for now. Where to next? Actually, the meeting is right around the corner. No time to explore. After seeing a little bit of what Deco's Palace has to offer, I am cautiously hesitant. There are certainly some things we can work on, but maybe a partnership can smooth out these callous edges. Hark, it's now 7 p.m. sharp. Deco Nami is waiting for you. Is that time already? Time sure flies when you're having fun? Investigating? Fun investigating? I quickly send my text to Percy before nervously wringing my sweaty hands together. I'm really curious to meet Deco in person. I'm really curious. If he is as interesting and big as Hamza, I'm hoping he's at least entertaining. I don't have to necessarily like him as a person, but I hope he's entertaining. I quickly send a text to Percy before nervously wringing my sweaty hands together. I let the sounds and sights of Deco's wash over me, and I retreat deep within myself. Francine comes to mind as I remind myself of what she told me on my first day.
Everyone has a dream they're chasing.
No doubt you'll find yours as well. It gives me a momentary respite and a smile. And I smile. I know exactly what must be done, and I'm going to go in there and do it. Okay, here we go. I only ended up waiting a minute or two before I was reunited with Percy. Without having to introduce ourselves, the staff swoops in, anticipating our arrival, and ushers us further inside the restaurant. We were treated like royalty as they pull out our chairs for us, and we sit down at our reserved table. Amongst the families huddled around ginormous plates of pizza and chicken tenders, we stick out like a sore thumb. An actual linen tablecloth drapes over our table, accompanied by fancy little candles, to set the mood, I suppose. A nice bottle of champagne on ice and a carafe of cucumber lime-infused water also sits before us. Deco apparently spares no expense, at least not with his special guests. Suspect I ought to eat healthy. Just have a salad, maybe some grilled chicken, no cheesy breadsticks or anything of the sort. I think you ought to do most of the talking during the actual meeting, love. You run the stage, I'm merely one of your many players. Okay, but if you see something you want to comment on, you jump in. Got it? I value your opinion. Not sure how useful my opinions will be, given that what I want is sort of opposite of what this place provides. But I understand it's not really for me. An old man can't afford to yell at clouds for long. Not enough days in one's life to waste on such nonsense. Maybe, but I still want to know how you feel, okay? Of course. Once again, the staff takes care of our needs, their food is delivered promptly. Is this better than the fries that I got? Faster than the other families seated here, who have been waiting some time, judging by the expansive crayon work on the kid placemats. Not surprisingly, we get a few side glances our way. Given how long I had to wait for my fries earlier, I'm shocked by the discrepancy. But before any of us can chow down, the man of the hour arrives. Whoa! They really wanted to make him look villainous. Archangel.
It's an honor to break bread with you.
Even before he said anything, even before the voice actor said anything, I pretty much got his voice. Likewise. Okay, so he's a bit of an over-the-top 1920X mob boss, despite a lack of a fedora. Clearly he likes showing off his money. But still just an ordinary guy in an expensive suit. When I picture the grand poobah of Deco's palace, I picture someone more like, well, Hamza, I guess. I love Hamza. He offers a simple smile and a nod of the head as we begin. It's a shame Miss Francine couldn't join us. I was looking forward to enjoying her sweet smile once more. But that said, I'm always happy to meet with... Percy Sinclair. Percy Sinclair! Good sir, future Mr. Moopy's Magical Maze World Champion. A retro player. A dying art, really. I appreciate you coming along.
I take it Francine has kept you up to speed and explained our prior meetings to you?
Yes, she mentioned you wanted to buy the Funplex, and that she's politely declined.
Always a courteous woman she is. Now, I don't feel I need to waste your time with the facts and figures illustrating why Deco's Palace is and always has been the premier family entertainment arcade.
This is Mark Meer! I'm pretty sure this is Mark Meer. Deco Nami off! Mail Shep! Mark Meer! Oh, I'm excited.
Both of you are intimately familiar with the arcade industry. You know how things are, how they'll always be. We are the 800-pound gorilla.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear Mark Meer's voice. That's a big gorilla. Indeed. But that doesn't mean there isn't room for smaller, more boutique affairs such as the Funplex. Interesting, maybe he does want a partnership, not a buyout.
Let me explain.
Frankly, the winds of change are blowing. Smaller arcades need to move with the times or be swept aside. I want to help you evolve. What I'd like to propose is a change of ownership in return for a very generous compensation package, one Miss Francine can easily retire on for the rest of her years. I would take over ownership of the Funplex to evolve it into its final form, Deco's Fun Zone. I'm already not liking this. What? A fun zone?
Think about
this. A fun zone is a new concept I've been trying at some of my smaller satellite locations, a best of both worlds scenario. Honestly, the Funplex is simply too limited in size to host the full Deco's Palace experience of fun, family, food, and excitement, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Instead of installing a restaurant or bar, we simply focus on your strength, your games. You become a game center rather than a palace. We need to replace some of your outdated machines, of course, bringing it up to speed with the standards of excellence Deco's Palace is known for. Yeah, like that Moopy's Maze monstrosity. But overall, I think this would be a win for all involved. And he sits back, resting his hands on the knob of his cane, smiling away. Okay, I have questions. And I have answers. Let's see if they match up. I've got concerns about your quality of service. Is it true you destroy older games? What would happen to the Funplex staff? How much creative control would we have? That's all my questions. How much control would we have? Let's talk creative control. I've been developing new sorts of arcade events, competitions, other things to get people in the door. Would we still be able to direct our own affairs like that, even under a change of ownership?
Let me explain.
Mr. Angel, obviously I value your expertise on these matters and would be happy to consult with you on the best direction for the fun zone. That's not answering the question. It's a matter of branding and image. There are certain standards and practices you need to adopt in order to truly be part of the Deco family. Yeah, this deal is not sounding good. Once you realize that, you'll understand more of how we run those kind of events.
Capital.
It's nothing too onerous, and really, we need to look at the bigger picture, the chance for growth and profit. Don't worry about such petty little things for now. The fact that he refers to them as petty little things is a huge, like, red flag for me. What would happen to the Funplex staff? New management means new staffing. What about the staff we already have?
Good.
I firmly believe you have a long and storied career ahead of you in arcade management, Mr. Angel. I've heard nothing but good things about you from my various field scouts and contacts, including how you disrupted my attempt to secure part of the Donna Wood Horde. The fact that you landed on my radar at all indicates your rising importance in our industry. You should be proud of that. Okay, but that still doesn't answer my question. What about the others? Well, Mr. Cooper is a capable accountant, so I'm certain he'd be welcome in the new facility. But we can hash out staffing later on, after settling the bigger picture questions. See, if the game is trying to make this a hard decision, they're doing a terrible job of making this a hard decision. I've got concerns about their quality of service. I've had some fries at the bar earlier. Well, I attempted to have some fries at least. It took forever to get service. The waiter was too distracted by other customers. I'd hope that our fun zone would deliver a better service experience. I'm disappointed to hear that. Needless to say, I'll deal with the bartender appropriately. I'm not trying to get him fired. I'm just concerned that... Yes, let's not dwell, shall we? Rest assured that we aim to maintain a high-quality experience overall. They'll be sacked. Any other concerns? I don't think this is the moment to confront him regarding his review tampering. At least I should wait until Iris finds something. Is it true you destroy older games? I saw Moopy's Super Maze earlier.
Excellent.
One of our top earners with the 30-45 demographic. Nostalgia is a powerful motivator, I found. Except it's nothing like Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Indeed, it's much better. Is it true that when you find a retro game, you simply destroy it? Not repair, not restore, not even resell, but just scrap it? Certainly, why would we ever keep an old relic around? Excuse me?
Let me explain.
Arcade games are not sacred treasures, they're commodities. Back in 1980X, arcade owners, myself included, routinely junked or converted games. Have to keep those earnings up. Old machines are not welcome. All they do is eat up floor space. The arcade scene must move ever forward, evolving into new forms. Classic retro IP reborn as new games.
Think about
True
this.
nostalgia could earn a few points off those old games, but the newer redemption games earn 10 times as much. Why bother?
Don't think so.
I'm afraid I must disagree with you on that, Miss Nami. Thank you, that's my boyfriend. That's my boo. The question is not one earnings. You could make far more money selling, say, refined uranium than you ever could running an arcade, if that's your only goal. The reason to operate an arcade is to sustain a dream of what an arcade can be. The reason to make it profitable is to be rewarded for your efforts in that regard. And the only reason that dream has shifted in the national subconscious towards a redemption game focus is because you forced that issue. I think you'd find an audience ready and willing to pay a premium for extremely high quality retro games. The Funplex is proof of that.
Excuse me.
Thank you for your opinion, Mr. Sinclair, but I think given my decades of experience in this industry, I know a bit more about it than you. As you like it, good sir. Percy settles down, having never raised his voice once, simply making his point and moving on, barely hiding a smirk at having raised Deco's ire. And it was so smoking hot when he did. That's all my questions.
Excellent. I suggest we shake on it and set our various lawyers to the task of sorting out the specifics.
Yeah, this doesn't feel right. He rises to his feet, extending a hand bristling with shiny rings to shake mine. I wasn't sure about this deal, but was willing to keep an open mind. After everything I've seen and heard, am I really going to shake that hand? I am afraid I must respectfully decline. I know. You know what? F you. I don't know. I don't want to burn any bridges. I must be polite. We'd like time to think it over. Let's do business together. No, I'm just going to say I'm afraid I must respectfully decline. I purposely keep my hands at my side rather than shaking his offered hand. I appreciate your offer, but must decline. I can't do this to my family at the Funplex. I wish you luck in future endeavors. I appreciate your offer, but must decline. You've been honest and forthright with me. Well, honest is pushing it. He's definitely been, like, not answering most of my questions. You've been honest and forthright is... Forthright definitely has not been forthright. And I appreciate that. Thank you for your gracious invitation this evening. However, I'm afraid this isn't the right direction for the Funplex. We're just getting started. It'd be a shame to abandon our progress in favor of a buyout. If you'd like to maintain relations, we can discuss partner opportunities at a future date, but for now, I respectfully must decline. Deco pauses, looking me once over before slowly lowering his hand. I can feel his eyes on me. He's obviously not happy with my answer, but we followed Francine's instructions and kept it professional. There is nothing you can do but accept our answer.
Fortunate.
I see. I suppose I should thank you for your candor in turn. It's difficult to find people in this industry willing to show respect to their elders. I'm not closing the door on the idea of partnership, mind you, but if you'd like to go it alone for now, who am I to get in the way of that? As he rises up from his chair, he takes a deep breath in. He turns away for a split second before rounding back and looking me dead in the eyes.
But be aware, if we are not partners, we must be rivals.
Bring it, son. Bring it.
It'll bring me no particular pleasure, but I'm afraid that I cannot allow a rival. I am obligated to bring the full weight of the palace to bear on you.
Whatevers.
Hopefully, one day you'll realize the error you've made tonight.
Bye, Felicia.
And, as a sign of respect, your personal offer to join my empire will remain open, so you can escape the inevitable fall of your little arcade.
Yeah, words like that are reasons why I would not want to make a deal with you. Once more, Deco turns sharply on his walking cane and walks away from the table.
Lovely.
Well, quite tactful, aren't you? I can admire that. Keeping cool under fire is a key attribute of champions. And you did the right thing. You kept the Funplex family together. Moopy, the real Moopy, will always have a home.
Much obliged.
Thank you for bringing me along. It's a pleasure to watch you work. Shall we return home? With Deco hosting us, we don't have to worry about paying the check. We drop a quick tip on the table for the waitstaff and quickly abandon ship. We scoot out the door, and from there it's a short jaunt across town, back to home sweet home. That was a pretty short short level, if it was a level. As I walk into my apartment, the sheer and utter exhaustion of the day hits me like a brick wall to the face. My adrenal glands are tapped out, leaving me in a dreamlike lethargy. I can't help but sigh as I just stand there, my body too drained to move. Reflecting on how the evening events transpired, I realize this day entirely kicked me in the butt. I did my best not to make enemies, but I'm guessing we made a powerful one anyway, despite my diplomatic efforts. As I continue to anxiety loop, replaying every moment in my head, something steals my attention. A shimmering beam of hope and happiness. My best friend, Juniper. I thought Iris was our BFF. She's sitting on the couch, scribbling away in a sketchbook, probably working on some designs for her freelance contracts. She's been so happy ever since leaving that office, and her joy intensifies by noticing me standing in the room. See, I'm glad we did right by her. I'm glad we gave her good advice. So, how was work today? Well, it was a day, certainly. The condensed version is that Deco and Nami wanted to buy the Funplex, and Francine asked me to go negotiate. What? Deco? As in Deco's palace, Deco? The one and only. Whoa! Well, how'd that go? I gave him the thanks but no thanks, very politely. I mean, he still vowed to annihilate us, but at least he was sort of nice about it and promised me a job after he destroys all I hold dear. That was a good dialogue, I like that. Yikes. Yikes indeed. But hey, that's a good thing. It means he's scared. He wouldn't have tried to woo you to his side if he wasn't worried about what the Funplex could become. Try to see the positive. I guess, but it's still worrying. Let's not stand here and drum up a whole bunch of anxiety. That's not going to help with anything.
I got it!
Why don't you take your mind off of things and binge watch some cartoons with me? Tempting, but another night, Juniper. I really need some sleep. Okay, you just let me know if you need anything. I'm here for you. I smiled back at Juniper before retiring to bed. I lay in bed, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling above me, after trying various ways of forcing myself to sleep. Nope, not working, can't sleep. I hate insomnia. Once you start worrying about being unable to fall asleep, the worry feeds on itself. until you're actively stopping yourself from resting. Vicious cycle. I sigh heavily, feeling the weight of my decision dragging me down. I hope I did the right thing tonight. My phone lights up as Iris's sensors detect conversation. Heart, do you want to chat? No, I want to sleep, but I can't, so hey. Would you enjoy some recorded music? Maybe something relaxing? I just can't shake this feeling that I'm standing on a precipice, right in front of this big, dark hole. It's weird because I still think I made the right call, but if I'm confident in that, why do I feel like I'm about to fall? Based on prior personality indicators inputs, my therapeutic system suggests it's fear of failure based on years of prior examples. In short, you've got a long family history of everything always going wrong all at once, Murphy's Law, so when things are going right, I'm expecting to fail anyway. But worrying about it won't actually change the situation. Whether you sleep or not does not affect the outcome. I don't know, sleep can help. So my suggestion is to get some rest. Deal with problems as they come. She's right. I mean, intellectually I know she's right. But knowing something is true and feeling it to be true, well, those are surprisingly different things. Iris, off.
Iris, offline.
Oh, okay, but remember, you're a good person and deserve to be happy. See, she is our BFF too. My phone goes back to sleep. And I do not. Some hours later, my body just passes out on its own. I vaguely recall my alarm going off a few times, but under protest of its mistreatment, my flesh refuses to submit to the siren song, meaning it's nearly noon when I finally rouse, having completely overslept and missed half a day of work. In a panic, I get dressed and hop a late bus to the Funplex, grumbling all the way. I opt to ignore the pile of waiting notifications on my phone. Whatever it is, I'm in too much of a hurry. I'll check them after getting to the Funplex. Uh-oh, I'm sure something's going down. I'd promised to report back to Francine first thing in the morning, and now I'd missed lunch even. But oddly enough, on arriving, the arcade is closed? I mean, my key still works, but they're closed for business. The sign is off, no gamers present or accounted for. I quickly look around for some familiar and hopefully friendly faces, and find only dark expressions. And tears? My stomach starts to knot and I feel the color drain from my face as I see their downtrodden and gloomy expressions, tears welling up in their eyes. Naomi quickly dabs at her face, hoping I won't notice. What's going on? We turned Deco down last night. Why is everybody so... Hark, it's Francine. Immediately a dark pit swells in my stomach. She passed away last night, in her sleep. Oh! I'm told it was very peaceful. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. The news hits me like a slap to the face. My hands shake and my lower lip quivers. I try to say something at first, but words can't form due to the lump in my throat. Family. She told me I was family. And now she's gone. Naomi and Ashley look to me, their beacon of hope, wanting and wishing for me to make this all better. I'm not sure anything I can say will ease our sadness. Heck, I'm not even sure I can even formulate full sentences at this moment. This coming from somebody, though, who signed up to date Percy. But I get it. Even though you sign up to date Percy, knowing his time, it still hits us hard when Francine dies, I'm sure. I take a deep breath, drawing all matters of strength from tips to toes. I look at them with empathy in my eyes before opening my mouth. She was an amazing person. If I could just insert another token, I have no words. She was an amazing person. Francine, she was a wonderful human with an even more beautiful heart. She had many happy tears with her husband, Frederick, decades spent here at the Funplex, doing her best to make everyone smile and have a good time. I wish she could be with us now, and I can't help but smile when I think of how great a life she led, how happy she'd be with how it all turned out. Let's remember how she was. Beautiful. Francine will be missed.
Thank you.
Thank you. I miss her so much, Hark. If Francine was here, your words would have made her so happy. Naomi emits a ragged sigh, a slight tinge of anger entering her sorrowful voice after. Maybe it's for the best she's not alive to see what happened today. What? Before I can get an answer, my attention is drawn by two people emerging from the back offices. I turn my head to see who it is. With everything going on, I barely notice that Gavin was missing, and as he approaches, the disdain on his face is easy to read. It's settled in, apparently. In light of Francine's passing, our legal owner is now...
Good morning, employees of Deco's Fun Zone.
So even though she passed away, even though we turned him down, Deco Nami ends up taking over the Fun Plaza anyway. What? But we turned you down. There wasn't a sale.